The Incredible Turd. Yes, has made another incredibly stupid video. He's been claiming he has, somehow argued Benatar's asymmetry argument on antinatalism, and he's completely defeated the logic and blah, blah, blah. Now, I responded to his original video, and I think dispensed with it in its entirety quite well. But just to prove the point, if it must be, I can make 3 or 4 response videos to this video and annihilate his bullshit in every possible manner, if that'll make people happy. So I stopped the video at 3 minutes, so he's basically drawn the diagram of the Benatar asymmetry and now is going to refute it, so we shall see what he says. But in the comments it's the same usual garbage. Alright, the lying piece of shit broken mech. Again, not surprising that Mendemite would ignore the arguments when most of the claim that they never hear their dear leader argue. Well, I have argued it, that they should kill everyone. The point is this kill everyone thing has absolutely nothing to do with the subject. What it has to do is with killing people who don't want to comply with let's say a decided majority, whatever your standard for law enforcement is. So I mean, you decide to kill serial killers and other people who have contempt for the law and contempt and no respect for what are considered common values. At the point where it is a common value that procreation is a selfish imposition, that's going to be the law, and people will have to pay a price if they're not going to comply with the law. I mean, it's just not that difficult to understand. You can understand this. If I'm right, okay, it's the only rational course. And that's just the way it is. So it'd be illogical for me to argue otherwise. You don't eradicate a disease like smallpox or something else if you don't get cooperation from other people. If they continue to act in a way that keeps the virus alive or something, you would do everything in your power to stop them from doing that. The cult mind is extremely selective about what it sees. Yeah, well, you're the liars. You're the lying, scheming weasels. You're the ones who don't make direct response videos, cunt. So you're the one proving you have no fucking argument. All you can do is attack, the messenger. You can't attack the message. This rose-bushy douchebag is typical douchebag that he is. He can't even stay on subject. Equally, the absence of pleasure to an existing being would be bad. Yeah, that's right. The absence of a legitimate pleasure. Now, if you're deriving your pleasure by imposing on somebody else, well, that's not a legitimate pleasure, asshole. Pretty easy to understand, but of course you can't. You and your nuances. You can't understand the nuance that there's legitimate pleasures and illegitimate pleasures. You know you're going to make their brains explode, don't you? Of course, a good thing about the world that would be that it would finally put them out of their misery. So this is your trite response to the imposition. This is how seriously you take the subject. So you just fluff off the price that's been paid for human life on Earth and just pretend it doesn't exist, and that you're on this decidedly proven joyride that's obviously worth it. Everybody should say, yes, this is fun, fun, fun. We should all... this is like if your town decided to have $1 million parade, spend $1 million of resources, hard-earned money, people die in coal mines to earn money, so they could waste it on a frivolous, stupid parade. That might piss you off. That might make you say, what the fuck are these values? But this is your response to it. You just, no, we need to spend the money. You're just wasters. You waste the most precious thing on fucking Earth, and you laugh about it. So you're just despicable pieces of shit. Yeah, that's what you are. So anyway, so let's hear his brilliant argument. It's going to start off with, I personally. So for me personally, that's how this starts. I believe that's where I stopped. Like for me personally, it's going to have something to do with a logical argument.
Just on a side note, personally, I choose to live and I prefer existence to non-existence.
Well, guess what? That doesn't have anything to do with the subject. The subject is, do you have a right to assume that the new creature you're going to force into existence has the same preference? Alright? It's like saying you like to eat raw rats. Alright? And the world is covered now with raw rats that people are expected to eat. Alright? And you decide to have a kid and say, well, you're going to eat raw rats. Even if they make you puke, you're going to eat them because that's the world I'm throwing you into. And if you don't like it, here's a gun, blow your brains out. I mean, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what kind of silly crap you like to do. Maybe you like to pick the lint out of your belly button and eat it. Alright? That doesn't mean anything to me. That just means you're a fucking idiot and a fucking lunatic. And I wouldn't want to live with you.
So, that's my choice. Because...
yeah, choices should have something to do with your own welfare. When you choose to go to Las Vegas and say, here, I'm going to sign Gary's house away. All right, so give me chips, and here's a note for Gary's house. Or here's a note for cancer for Gary. Or here's a note for something else for somebody else. You're going to sign away something else's welfare and gamble with it. Yeah, that makes you a pile of shit.
I have choice, and so do you.
Not again, wrong again, okay? As soon as you are put in the living circumstance, your choice is coerced, okay? There's no way around that. Not only are you personally a living thing that doesn't want to do harm to itself, which harm usually is a prerequisite to getting off this little spinning ball of shit, but you're going to have all these interrelationships with the other little sentient beings. You're going to have cats that might be dependent on you feeding them, and you might have parents, and you might have sisters and brothers, and you might have all this other shit that you're caught up in that sort of end up obligating you. So it's no longer a free choice, it's now a bound choice. It's bound by senses of responsibility and obligation, and so it is just complete bullshit to say people choose to do these things. There's lots of people who live longer than they really want to because they know the people around them couldn't deal with the fact that they said it's time for me to give up. And you goddamn know that happens every fucking goddamn day, that people linger out of obligation, not by matter of choice. So again, you're just playing a game with these fucking words because you're a little fucking goddamn weasel. You're a logic eating smelly pig weasel.
You choose to live also, yet you claim you don't want to. But
well, again, you claim you choose to live, but you're a fat, ugly motherfucking pig, and you're going to die at a young age because you don't even take care of your physical body. You absolutely, without a doubt, understand that the body is what's keeping your fucking cunt brain alive, yet you allow this fat to collect and obviously show that your arteries are getting blocked by a bunch of fucking goddamn cholesterol crap. And this is your response to it, is to be an arrogant asshole while you try to kill yourself.
Hey, life was imposed upon me by feckless parents.
So this is the argument to the Benatar asymmetry, right? Just a bunch of mocking and ad hominem innuendo puke argument. So bravo, Flatty. You did it again. You can't make a fucking coherent, direct, logical argument. All you can do is spew fucking goddamn patronizing, trivializing fart.
Feckful parents, probably. And life was imposed on me by them, and that's evil to you. But I am thankful that they did it.
That is your fucking goddamn delusion, okay? There's assholes who think there's some point in spending 1/4 or 1/2 of their life bowed on their knees, praying to their fucking contrived and nonsensical God. The fact that idiots do idiotic things is not a fucking counter-argument, Bubbles.
Regardless of their complete lack of responsibility in the matter. Because I'm alive
Yeah, you're alive. Exactly the point, you stupid fuck. The argument is about if you weren't alive, you wouldn't be addicted, you wouldn't be a need machine. These are all functional facts of being alive. Okay, is that when you're alive, you're now vulnerable. You have now created a need that needs to be served. And that's the whole point. It's better not to create the fucking need.
Flash Gordon's alive.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anyway, that's just my personal opinion on it. But what I would...
Yo, thank you. I just really didn't need it at all. I mean, you know, I could put the camera up my ass and make some funny noises, but there's really no point in doing that, is there? Fucking retard.
What I'll do is I'll go into a different refutation of it, because I don't think that's really the most important refutation of it for me.
Well, I don't even think that's any kind of argument at all. It's complete mush. It's not any better than saying, I think God wants me to be here. It's no more intelligent than that.
That's just like the formal refutation of it. But what I will do is go into a more formal, as well, again, refutation of the premises themselves. Premise 1, the presence of pain is bad.
Alright, now I know what I can see coming here just from the comments, alright? I'm going to predict what's coming here, because somebody commented. And Brainiac's fucking response was, brain tumors are entirely painless. This is the deluded fucking understanding of reality this asshole has. Brain tumors are entirely painless. I mean, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen written in a fucking YouTube video. Have you known people that have had brain tumors? Brain tumors cause incredible manifestations of sensation, delusion, suffering, discomfort. I mean, this is idiotic. All tumors can be painless. You could have a fucking watermelon inside of you right the fuck now. A big giant watermelon of cancer inside of you right the fuck now. And you're completely unaware of it. Because that's the way tumors work. Sometimes they're in good places that are not too uncomfortable, and sometimes they're in places that are going to make you really, really, really uncomfortable. You stupid, dumb cunt. So he's going to make the argument from, we need pain to know that there's a fucking, piano on our foot. Duh. No one's arguing that we didn't evolve the capacity to feel pain for a reason, okay? It exists because it is conducive to our survival and the replication of a molecule. That's not a premise being argued, jackass. The argument is how much of the pain is an entire and complete waste of suffering. That serves no functional purpose. It just basically tortures the organism on their way out. I mean, you could argue that all pain after you've, been fatally injured, you're going to die in a matter of minutes. Any pain you experience during that time is of no value to you. You really don't need to suffer to understand, oh, fuck, I'm fucked. Yes, I'm dead. I'm crushed. I'm broken entirely. Now I will suffer horribly and scream as my consciousness leaves me. Yeah, but you deluded lunatics all think everybody dies in some, I'm fading away, I'm fading away. No, people die screaming sometimes. Screaming.
Now, I've already refuted this, but I'll do it again. The presence of pain is both good and bad. So
no, retard. Again, we're not talking about the fact that your pain has some convenience purpose for your social interaction and function in the world. That's not a value. The sensations are the thing that have value. The experiences, the things you're feeling and experiencing have the value. The fact that you're intelligent or stupid isn't that fucking relevant. And all pain is one way of deriving information. For most of us, I think we can know that our physical body has certain limitations and that we don't need to push them beyond those limitations. So a sensation of pain is not needed. We chew food every day with our teeth. We don't feel pain that stops us from smashing our teeth too hard. Okay? We the body regulates itself. It's a sensation, and the sensation is not innately unpleasant. So we can learn through our senses, if they were better regulated, without extreme pain. You don't need any extreme pain. All you do is need the indication that the sensation is now harsh enough to let it go. So all you would need is enough sensation of heat to say, drop it. You don't need the amount that the body gives you, which is sometimes this incredible hostile amount, and an amount that never goes away. I mean, weeks later, you're still suffering because of the warning it gave you. So this is a stupid, silly, idiotic argument. You're comparing apples to oranges. There is no intrinsic value in knowledge. There is intrinsic value in experience.
Simultaneously, you know, the immediate presence of pain may be bad. I've been through excruciating pain in my life, and the presence of it was bad. But you know, it's also good. It's also good because I've been made aware that I'm in pain, that my body is dysfunctioning, so that I can go and get it seen to, you know.
Yeah, well, whatever. Again, this is just a silly argument. This is the argument, again, from nature, that somehow nature has given us a proper regulation mechanism, and that it all works out in the end because, you know, I'm addicted, I will endure all kinds of symptoms of my addiction, you know, that are completely physically destroying me because my addiction's stronger than the oppressive forces of physical destruction. I mean, the psychology of the rat can be observed. We can put the rat in lots of circumstances and see what the rat will do. And sometimes the rat does completely fucktarded things. So this is completely meaningless mush. The point is this squandering of suffering for this trivial parade in any way a rational equation? Can anybody do this math rationally and say, yes, let's have the $1 million parade?
I played with fire when I was a kid and burned myself, and the pain was bad. It was horrible. It was the worst thing I'd felt up to that point when I was like 6. And but it helped me to take my hand out the fire, and so it was good.
Yeah, right. And if it was 1,000,000 times more pain than it would have required for you to take your hand out of the fire, you won't concede the huge inefficiency there. Come on.
Because I've still got a functioning hand, I'm still alive, and that's good for me. That's a positive thing for me.
Well, again, it's not about you, okay? It's about your right to impose your values on some new little hatchling.
So it was immediately bad that I felt pain, but overall it was good that I felt it.
Again, this is not, you're comparing apples and oranges, and you're not even doing it correctly. You're just assuming, well, look, when I compare the apples and the oranges, they come out equal on the scale. And I'm just saying they do because I'm saying so. Well, I'm saying I think that's a preposterous evaluation in the first place to compare these two things. And if you're going to put them on a scale, the weight of the wasted suffering, the suffering that people endure in months and months of fighting to repair their body, horrific suffering, chronic suffering, far outweighs the beneficial knowledge that, oh, well, every day my body tells me I have cancer. Isn't that super? Every single day it lets me know that I'm dying. Wow, isn't that great? No, that's waste, asshole.
So it's good and bad simultaneously. So the premise that the presence of pain is bad is faulty, it's inaccurate.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, if that is exactly all, I mean, that's almost all we need to say here, because I've said this right from the very beginning. I have absolutely no interest in having a conversation with somebody too stupid to understand that pain sucks, that suffering, in fact, sucks. Now, if you're too stupid to understand that, you're just not worth the time of day. You really aren't. So if you're going to argue that, no, knowing every day that you have cancer for 6 fucking months, being told by your body that you're dying and you have cancer, and it's blinding you with this knowledge, it's just yelling it in your face, you have cancer, you're going to die, you have cancer, you're going to die, you're going to have cancer, you're going to die. Every fucking day. If you think that has positive value, or is at least neutral, then you're too fucking stupid for fucking conversation.
Because pain is both good and bad. Immediately, as far as your feelings are concerned, it's bad. But the ramifications in your life is good.
This is, again, you're going to reiterate a childish, simpleton's understanding. I mean, it just really is too fucking stupid. Where'd you learn this? Mother Teresa's school for sadistic lunatics? I mean, this is really insane. Let's give our pain to Jeebus. Jeebus loves to eat your pain. I mean, you're fucking insane.
Cycling and the exertion is painful. Exercise is painful.
Oh, again, we have trivialized. So how many fucking videos have been made from the argument from trivialization? And you're saying this is something new you've brought to the table, some new profound bit of logic to undo Benatar's argument? And your argument is, I had to walk up a hill and I went huffity-puffity. I mean, fuck you.
But the ramifications of that pain are good. And we'll look at premise 2 as well, just to show how it's symmetrical.
Well, is your argument going to be as brilliant as this last one? So now we have eliminated the problem of suffering sucks because, we gain knowledge from suffering, and the knowledge is super cool and great. And it's so functional. I mean, there's so much I can do with the knowledge, that my leg is broken when I can obviously see the bone sticking out of my leg. So I really don't need the pain information. I mean, if I can see the bone sticking out of my flesh and the blood oozing, I guess I can draw the conclusion that my leg is busty. I really don't need the pain to inform me of the problem.
The presence of pleasure isn't always good. Consider, if you will.
Oh, well, I'm not. I mean, this again is a stupid argument, okay? The fact of it, all right, as a quantum moment in time, the pleasure itself, extracted from all context, is a good. Just like the pain itself, extracted from all context, is a negative. All right? So if you just understand those two things, that it doesn't matter who experiences the pain, it doesn't matter who experiences the pleasure. It just matters that there are these two alternative states of conscious being, comfort and discomfort. Okay? Discomfort is bad, and comfort is at least not bad. I don't know whether it's worth anything, because I think it's just the satisfaction of a deprivation, which is negative, but that argument I'll save for another time. But the point is one is decidedly bad, and one is decidedly not bad.
Rape. The presence of rape is good because there's pleasure there. That seems to be his premise, The rapist is participating in rape and enjoying it. So, that must be good then.
Well, I mean, it's good in the sense that there's one conscious being who's not having a bad time. I think Benatar would obviously argue that if the context of that pleasure, like the context of having baby pleasure, like if you're having pleasure because you're gambling with somebody else's money, well, the point is that yes, you are happy, and that's good that you're happy gambling with somebody else's money. The bad is that you're going to cause huge discomfort and displeasure to the person you're losing their money. Okay, so, it's like a credit card, right? You can gain a lot of pleasure from buying your life on your little credit card. You've probably had experience doing that. Yes, I believe you do. But the pain is going to come, okay? There's a context. There's strings tied to it. All right, and I think, you really should be capable of understanding that by now. At your age, you really should be mature enough to understand that there's a different context. So if you're going to rape somebody, cause them tremendous trauma and harm, then your pleasure is eradicated as a good because now you have caused way too much suffering for it. All right, just like, the German army and its shiny boots and its fancy uniforms and its little pointy hat is all fun and good, but if it's at the price of 50 million dead people, well then it's all bad.
But obviously, as I argue, that's the immediacy of the rapist's emotional states, that pleasure is good. But the ramifications of that pleasure are bad for...
Yeah, again, the argument isn't that there aren't circumstantial uniquenesses to each circumstance, that each circumstance is a circumstance, and it's got to be evaluated as a net product. The point is when you do the net evaluations, there's still this problem of a bunch of unaccounted for suffering. Because one man's pleasure, your little, oh yay, I love parades, doesn't compensate for the guy who's saying, you mean I'm working 10 hours a day in the coal mine so these assholes can waste my money on a fucking parade?
The victim for society and for the rapist, because they'll be in jail. And,
well, actually, most rapists aren't in jail, sadly. Stupid comment there also.
So, pleasure isn't necessarily good. It's also bad.
All right, again, so these are his premises. Suffering doesn't suck because sometimes you need the pain to understand that you're broken. You can't figure it out for yourself that the bone in your leg is sticking out, and you can't figure out, like, when your flesh is turning black and is bubbling, that might want to just let that go. And you don't need just a sensation that says, hey, that's not good, don't go any further, asshole. No, you need some screaming, horrible, nagging, puke through your eyeball kind of horror to get the message that, you have a 2-degree temperature because, you have a little virus. Bullshit, Great Text. That's all I can say to this kind of shit. It's just bullshit. And most of the time, this knowledge doesn't do you one fucking bit of good. What good does the knowledge, I am suffering with the flu? What good does it do you? Does it do you any fucking good to suffer? Any good whatsoever? Does it change your behavior in any way that's conducive to your flu going away? No. You just feel like shit. For no good reason whatsoever. Because a stupid fucking bit of chemistry is fucking around inside of you. So fuck you, fail. So both of these arguments are just ludicrous. First you're saying suffering doesn't count, and now you're making this ludicrous argument that somehow pleasure... I don't even know what your argument is here. You're saying that not all pleasure is good. Well, if you're going to argue that it's not... Benatar is giving you the benefit of the doubt there. He's saying, look, even if we say all pleasure is good, it still wouldn't make up for the suffering. You can't impose. You can't sit there and play a game and impose the results on somebody else. So you're even making my argument for me.
The immediacy of these states, the immediacy of pain and pleasure, you could say are either bad or good.
Ah, bravo! You finally figured that out. And well, the immediacy is all that really counts in the end, Great Text. That's the end quanta. That's what the end thing is made out of, is just experiences, just a bunch of human experiences. And when it's all totaled up, context isn't going to make much fucking goddamn difference. All there is going to be this much suffering and this much comfort, and that's all there's going to be.
But the existence of them, the presence of them, isn't necessarily bad or good. So both those...
Yeah, well, again, you can't sit there and say you have destroyed the immediacy of it and the reality of it because you say it was somehow useful to the little functioning bugs, again, in terms of how they behave. Behavior becomes quite irrelevant. All context is erased by time, and all that's left behind is how many people died, how many people suffered, how many people went through whatever. Now, at the time you're fighting for something, in the middle of the war, it's a different equation than when the war is over and you can calculate, well, was any of that shit worth it? And you can say yes or you can say no based on how much misery was imposed. How much you fucked the world.
Premises are flawed. So I hope that anybody who has the ability to reason to step outside of group conflictual games.
All right, and join your cult where suffering doesn't suck. Dun, 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 dun. We're marching in the pointless parade of the fucking fucktard. We don't pay any attention to suffering because we know it tells us our legs are broken. Blah, 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 retard, fuck nut. Boom, 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 boom. You're an idiot.
In which I'm right and you're wrong. Be.
Oh, my song was so much bigger and better than your parade song. You are a retard. I mean, god damn it, you are fucking idiotic.
People who are able to think beyond good and bad and say,
all right, think beyond good and bad. Right, write the book. Beyond good and bad. It's all just oatmeal instead. Believe in the oatmeal. Oh, I get it now. Just it all away. They ought to make a cleaner called it all away. And it doesn't do a damn thing. It doesn't clean anything. Doesn't do anything. It's just, you squirt it and you just pretend the dirt went away.
It's about choice, you know. Rape isn't about good or
the
bad.
Choice to just pretend. Let's all just pretend it's all working out okay. And that it's not just a replicating molecule competing with itself, pointlessly stabbing itself in the eye. Fucking idiot.
It's about choice. You know, the difference between sex and rape is consent.
Yeah, and the difference between sex and procreation is stupidity.
Not good or bad. It's about consent.
It's not about consent. It's only you only need consent because it carries a liability of bad. If rape was always good or always just benign, if it was never troublesome, never dangerous, then you wouldn't need consent. You don't need consent to do something that's not potentially harmful. You only need consent if you're going to do something harmful or potentially harmful or likely to be harmful.
And, so
I mean, you might have smelled up the park when you walked in it, right? But, you know, it's not a big enough offense, and it's not direct enough, and so you don't need to get consent to walk in the park, because it's not enough of an offense, all right? That's all. But when it's enough of a potential offense, you would have to get consent. I mean, if you decide to just walk through the crowded park and fart incessantly, yeah, then you might need to get a permit, okay? You might have to go file for a permit to be a public fucking gas bag.
A choice, just like antinatalism's about choice, you know.
Yeah, right. The choice to impose. Oh, that makes so much sense, yeah. The choice to impose. The choice to impose. The choice to impose. When you have your parade, could you at least have a float called that? The choice to impose. Just so everybody on Earth, like big letters on the float, maybe you could have them like turn into a transformer, like that turns into a Prego and a little baby plops out of her. Yeah, and you could, the choice to impose. And then everybody can just read that and they can say, well, am I rational? And this would be the test. Because if you think it's a rational statement to say the choice to impose, if you think that's a rational combination of words, that's the test. You know you're an idiot. So if you can't jump over that bar of realizing that a statement like the choice to impose is ludicrously illogical, right, then you're an idiot.
like natalism is about choice. You choose to consent into a relationship where you have a child.
Oh, yeah, you choose between Mr. and let's say Dr. Frankenstein and Igor. Choose to consent to be experimenters, and they're going to now impose. And so it's okay because they chose to impose. So if I get consent from a bunch of other gang members to maliciously go out into the world and rape, it'll be okay because me and the other gang members consented to do it. We all consented to go be fucking rapists and pillagers. And because we consented with each other, it's okay. We can rape and pillage now. We can impose. Yay! Because we consented. We conspired with each other to impose. I mean, you know how stupid this is? That is not consent. All right? When you get a partner in crime, that's not getting consent from the victim, shithead. So again, could you put that float in your parade? Okay? That getting consent from your partner in crime does not mean you have consent from the victim. Jesus, you're dumb.
That child then has the choice to live or not.
So again, we're back to this crap. Again, I'm not going to explain again that it is a burden to have to kill yourself. It's not something that's enjoyable. It's not like eating a bag of potato chips. And especially in the context of the fact that you have any interconnected life and interconnected relationships, it's going to be gnarly and a little bit complicated to gracefully slide off this mortal plane. And of course, we have no legal right to do it, so we can't do it with expressed dignity. We must do it in the closet. We must kill ourselves in the closet still. So, I mean, quite obviously, people, at least gay people, maybe that's why gay people a lot of them are anti-natalists, is because they understand what it is to be denied the right to be freely what you are. We are denied the free right to say life is a stupid sack of shit and to act on our own judgment. And that is quite insulting. And then to add insult to the injury, you're stealing our resources, stealing suffering, so you can make a silly fucking parade out of it. You're squandering the thing we value more than anything else in the universe and having a fucktarded parade out of the blood and the bones. You're sadistic lunatics that make me want to fucking goddamn projectile vomit in your direction.
They didn't ask to be born because, hey, the non-existent can't suffer. They can't be deprived of pleasure.
Right, it's fail-safe. The nuclear power plant you don't build can't melt down. It can't cost you trillions of dollars. It can't ruin billions of lives. It can't do all of that crap if you don't fucking build it. We're need machines. We're not satisfaction. We're not solution machines. We're need machines. We come into this world making a need mess, and at best, we clean up part of it, and we just leave a whole pile of it sitting there. That's the average destiny of the average sentient being. All right? And the topper off, the grand finale, the putrid dioxin frosting on the shit cake is the fact that life is going to probably kill you hard in the end just to show you how much it cares. It's going to fucking impose a big bucket of fucking suffering right at the end when you can't do a motherfucking thing about it. That's how brilliant the whole fucking piece of shit is, and you fucking Borgie retard Kool-Aid drinking lunatics are sitting there having a parade to it. Fuck you, religious nut.
Can't be saved from suffering, and they can't make choices, and they can't be imposed upon. You can't impose something on something that doesn't exist. You can only impose things on things that do exist.
Exactly, that's correct.
And for the better part of a child's life, their existence is imposed upon them. But when they're adults, they now have the choice to live.
Again, it's a coercive choice. Alright, you can't separate the choice from context. They're going to get addicted. They're going to become dependent. They're going to be a psychologically human organism, which means they're going to want to run with the bulls, so to speak. They're going to have an instinct to whap the wheel. I mean, once you put the hamster in the wheel, choice is going to be really difficult because it's going to want to whap those spokes. That's just the way it works. And to deny that dynamic is, again, to trivialize pain, to trivialize burden, to trivialize reality. That's all you're doing. Just like some religious nut, you're just trivializing the truth, turning it into a cartoon so you can sell it to stupid people. So you absolutely suck.
Live or die. You know, the difference between murder and death is consent. So,
well, again, the difference between imposition of killing somebody and doing it against their will and the imposition of forcing or imposing life on somebody against their will, they are the same act. To deny somebody their right to live is no better than to deny somebody their right to die. So they're almost equal crimes. They're crimes against will. They're crimes against individual right to invest their own welfare in their own judgment. Again, antinatalists aren't arguing against people's right to live. They're arguing against people's right to do biological experiments for which they have no capacity to buy insurance against the disaster and no capacity to control the experiment. That's the argument, fucknut. If they mind their own business, antinatalists have no argument with them. If they live out their life, okay, who cares? But that's not the argument. The argument is they want to perpetuate the game. They want to put gasoline in the maniacal steamroller. Let's say there's a maniacal steamroller out there and it's causing harm and causing suffering. They want to keep pouring gasoline into it. And the logical people are saying, let it starve. Let it run out of gas. We win. It runs out of gas. We win.
It's about choice. It's about choice. It's not.
It's about your choice to impose. I mean, it's just a ludicrous, nonsensical argument. You don't have a right of choice to impose, okay? Unless you're imposing on an imposer, right? The only time you have a choice to impose is when somebody is imposing. If somebody intends to impose rape or intends to impose murder, you have a right to stand in the way and say, fuck you, you're not imposing. And that's when you have a right to impose on them, is when they are a threat to impose. It's really not that complicated. I mean, people, you can get this, can't you? Average little retard out there, you can understand that it's really you're just trying to find the first imposition, the first cause, the first imposition. Well, the first imposition is the act of procreation. That's the first imposition. And that is a legitimate imposition to impose a stop sign on.
Now, good or bad, these are baby words. These are
right. Yeah, right. Positive, negative, but baby words. Right, wrong, baby words. Yeah, only the most important words to a rational brain attempting to evaluate a system. It's like saying friction is a baby word. Waste is a baby word. Efficiency is a baby word. No, I'm afraid not, asshole. They're the most important words if you want to be productive on planet Earth.
Different words, okay? Good or bad. Good or bad exists in pain and good or bad exists in pleasure simultaneously.
Well, whatever. That's just, as I've pointed out, it's first comparing apples and oranges, and even if it were true you can compare these things, your presumption that the scales are balanced on those subjects, that there's just the right amount of pleasure being experienced for just the right amount of pain, and that somehow it all balances out and it's all okay. So, yeah, 50 million was just the right amount of suffering for World War II. That made, the Volkswagen worth it. I mean, this is just a ludicrously insipid argument. You have nothing. This is, well, I'm not even going to argue it.
So I hope that's refuted it for you.
Well, right. The old whatever, bubble gum was worth polio argument. Yeah, that sure does refute it. That's damn right, man. Bubble gum was damn worth it. That's right. So we had polio. So what? We got bubble gum. It was worth it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm convinced. Not.
You are pointed towards this video, and if it hasn't, I'm sorry. But I'm not going to enter into any further discussion about this subject with you.
Oh, isn't that too bad? It doesn't matter. Like I said, I don't mind playing this video once a week. And I'll tear it to little tiny pieces of confetti, and I'll throw them in your fucking face. And then I'll play the big parade music. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. And I'll mock you and laugh. Ha 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 ha. And then maybe I'll even ask, Biodegradable Man to chime in. Yay! We can watch the parade together.
Until you at least approach the arguments that I've made in the video. Okay, without anecdotal evidence.
Well, whatever. I approached them the first time you made them, and I now have approached them again, and I will approach them and smash them and crush them and destroy them every time they fart out of your stupid, ugly gob. I mean, they're silly arguments. The choice to impose. Yeah, it's a really dumb argument.
Without appeals to emotion, without ad homs, without anything.
All right, you can ad hom, but we can't. Oh, isn't that special? Fuck you.
Else. Argue my arguments. And if you can't...
Well, what are your arguments? That you can use the word genocide to describe any time you intend to kill something. So instead of saying euthanasia, we ought to just say genocide. Instead of saying, collateral damage, we call all collateral. It's genocide. Every time you kill something, it's genocide. Well, rapists are, if they rape and murder, no, they're committing genocide. So just call everything genocide. Just ignore the fact that the person isn't acting out of bigotry or attempting to do some sort of eugenics, racial superiority thing. So ignore the entire context and meaning of a word and just use it completely inappropriately. Just so you can do your propaganda thing and scare people with your little scary words. Yeah. Right. You're just a fucking weasel.
Our conversation about this subject will go no further.
It doesn't need to go any further. The only thing we need to do is make sure that any fucknut who thinks Great Tech scored a point here, that he sees this, if he has any honor, that he watches the counter argument and fully understands that yes, he can figure out that a phrase like the choice to impose is idiotic. Completely idiotic.
You can talk about my bike if you want.
Yeah, well, I think you gotta shove that right up your ass and see if it causes you any suffering. Stupid sick fucker. So anyway, enough of this toad. Sorry about the length of the video, but that's just the way it worked out. You know, happens sometimes. But what idiots? I mean, it's the same old fucknut, so it's not like, it's not like this guy's talking to anybody who's got a brain anyway. So, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it's just so funny that he keeps talking. I've totally annihilated, logically, the David Benatar asymmetry with my brilliant, the choice to impose. I mean, that's so much more logical. Yeah, why don't you all drool? Have your parade, and you can all sit there and drool like morons. Yeah, that'd be good too. Yeah, have a little Zen marching band where you all just make all the baddie go away. I want to pretend it's all stars and sparkly. Glitter, glitter, rainbow. Ooh. I have to justify my existence because I get a little boner when I pull lint out of my belly button. Fuck you.